Superman and Robin Williams hung out? Hot water freezes faster than cold? You can be cursed by a baguette? These upcoming facts should blow your mind and impress your friends. Your social circle will love you, and I'm totally happy for you to take all the credit. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 random facts to impress your friends. 25. Astronaut ice crap. Remember astronaut ice cream? You probably spotted it on a field trip one time where it looked pretty exciting, and then you bought a pack and opened it up. Yep, freeze-dried desserts aren't fun. But at least you're eating what the astronauts eat, right? Wrong. Turns out that's a lot of space hooey. Evidence of it actually being consumed on missions is non-existent, and experts reckon it was too damned crumbly for zero gravity anyway. 24. Anesthetizing redheads. Anesthesia and redheaded people. What's the deal? Well, according to medical science, redheads need more knocking out than most. Back in 2004, a study noted that its flame main subjects required significantly higher doses of anesthetic, as high as 20%. How come? Well, it could be related to them having a high pain threshold, which interestingly leads to them needing greater anesthesia. It could be due to cell receptors or tiny doorways on their skin. Research is ongoing. Okay, I know I'm being rude and you've never seen me this distracted before, but seriously, check out this awesome battle sequence. I love the variety of champions you can collect in this game. There are over 800, from powerful lizardmen to magical elves, each with amazing skills and epic designs. It's the best strategy game on my phone, and it comes with tons of PvE and PvP content to conquer. Speaking of champions, let me tell you about this one called Ninja. He's one of the most powerful legendaries ever released, and guess what? He's ours for the taking. For now, anyway. Anyway, Ninja seriously dominates any battlefield. So, how can you get your hands on him? Well, first you need to download Raid Shadow Legends and using a special link, then enter the promo code Ninja Returns. Existing players can get the free Ninja Pack in the in-game shop by logging in for 5 days by August 20th. This unlocks exclusive bonuses for new players, including a free epic champion named Annex right off the bat. Plus, you'll get another epic champion, Fane, when you reach level 15. These are seriously strong champions that can be game changers for your first epic adventures. And get this, there's actually also a chance to win some amazing prizes if you download the game through my link. I'm talking VR headset, a drone, and more. If you want to enter the competition, you have to download and register with this link/QR code only. Then go to wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com. Once there, enter your Raid player ID, and then simply record yourself playing the game and upload the video to the event's website with the Plarium filters and hashtag. Submissions will appear on wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com, where everyone can vote for their favorites. The top 12 submissions will win a handheld gaming console, a drone, a VR headset, and Amazon gift cards worth up to $2,000. Everyone will be entered into a draw for some valuable in-game loot for Raid Shadow Legends, so even if you don't win a VR headset, every single person that enters will win something. Now, one of the things I love most about Raid is the variety of strategic team builds you can create. It's so much fun experimenting and finding the perfect combo to dominate dungeons, climb the arena ranks, or crush that clan boss. Oh, and if you check out the description below and click on my special link to download Raid Shadow Legends, you can claim all these awesome bonuses. You'll immediately get a huge starter pack with an epic champion Annex from the Undead Hordes faction, and you'll get another starter pack after reaching level 15 that, like I said, includes the epic Fane. These two champions are available after downloading via my custom link or QR code. If you go directly to app stores or use any other link to download, you won't get these packages that Raid's team gave me. Also, don't forget to use the code Ninja Returns when you start the game to get access to the limited time legendary champion. So, I'll see you in the game, and, go get your hands on Ninja. Oh, and by the way, I actually have a clan called List 25, that's fitting, I know, that's always looking for new active members. So, if you're looking for a supportive community to help you grow in Raid, feel free to send me a message under my username Mirai, M-E-R-R-A-I, and I'll connect you with my crew. The clan tag is L15T. L25 was taken, so I got creative. It spells list. Okay, so back to the video. 23. When Superman met Mork. Before they became the Man of Steel and the alien from Ork respectively, Christopher Reeve and Robin Williams were roomies at the prestigious Juilliard acting school. When Reeve became paralyzed following a riding accident, Williams was there for him as a friend. It's said the pair were like brothers at this time. They don't appear to have made any movies together, but Williams went on to play a voice role in Everyone's Hero, an animated film that Reeve directed. 22. The voodoo that they do. Voodoo is poo-pooed by some, but not in Haiti. Voodoo has played a key role in the Caribbean country. As reported by the BBC, the people there are 70% Catholic, 30% Protestant, and 100% voodoo. This was back in 2003 when the president declared these religious practices as an official belief system. Haitians face prejudice about voodoo based on negative, inaccurate, and racist depictions of them in Western media. 21. Ferris Builder's Day Out. How old is the Ferris wheel? I mean, it feels like it's been around forever. But the truth is, it's been entertaining carnival goers since 1893. This was the work of structural engineer George Washington Gale Ferris Jr., who built on an established idea to bring us the design we all know and love today. The first Ferris wheel appeared at the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago and stood at a vertigo-inducing 264 feet. 20. Nevada is mostly owned by the government. Many of you may have been to the state of Nevada for a trip to Las Vegas. Yet the gambling capital of the world sits on what is effectively government property, or public land. For example, 47 million acres of Nevada is owned by the Bureau of Land Management. Overall, federal bodies lay claim to over 80% of the territory. Gangster Bugsy Siegel may have put Nevada on the map by turning Las Vegas into a gambler's paradise, but you could say it's the White House who holds all the cards. 19. The Beatles couldn't read music. How astonishing is this? The Fab Four could create music, they could play music, but they sure as heck couldn't read or write it. That skill came with time, though thankfully they had a knowledgeable producer named George Martin to help them with the technicalities. It just goes to show that you don't necessarily need a bunch of training to do something brilliantly. 18. Hot water freezes faster than cold water. We're aware of this thanks to the Mpemba effect. This was named after a high school student, Oratso B. Mpemba, who popularized it in 1969. This bizarre scientific fact has been known about for hundreds of years. However, what Mpemba did was game-changing. Plus, he wasn't even trying to do an experiment. The guy was just making ice cream. So, why does hot appear to freeze faster than cold? Well, it's all about the equilibrium, or overall stability, of the water. As hot water reaches this state, it has things to its advantage, such as not developing a frosty barrier and allowing the cold from the freezer to ice it up quicker. The Mpemba effect isn't wholly accepted by the scientific community as a general rule, but it has definitely kept experts arguing over the years. 17. The Mona Lisa receives fan mail. Oh baby, I love how you just hang on the wall of the museum like that, looking enigmatic. That's the kind of thing you might read were you to open a bag of the famous painting's fan mail. The iconic portrait painted by Leonardo da Vinci in the early 16th century has had its fair share of love letters over the years. You can post one, or pop it in the mailbox, which is next door to the lady herself at the Louvre in Paris. 16. Art you can inhale? Micro art rocks, but there's a downside to creating tiny sculptures, as British artist Willard Wiggin discovered. He was working on a micro version of Alice from Alice in Wonderland when he inhaled at the wrong time. The poor girl was sucked inside his body, never to return. Well, she probably reappeared, but Alice's adventures down the toilet doesn't have a nice ring to it. 15. Rise of the robots. Robots in blue pants slamming their padded buttocks down on cell phones in a crazy stress test? No, this isn't another weird episode of The Simpsons where Homer invents something, but an actual dealio done by Samsung in the 21st century. Each robotic butt smothering reportedly puts 220 pounds of pressure on the new handsets. The test isn't thought to be in use today, though. 14. Head versus heart. You'll never look at a shrimp the same way again after this fact, unless you already knew that a shrimp's heart is located inside its head. Well, that certainly puts a new spin on the expression about your heart ruling your head. Why is it there, though? Because the head and thorax of a shrimp are protected by an exoskeleton, making it a lot safer than the tail end for those squishy parts. 13. Ancient Greeks and asbestos. We associate the hazardous mineral asbestos with scandals in the 20th century. Buildings were built with asbestos before and after the dangers became clear. But the fact is that the ancient Greeks employed it in a way you may find surprising. They had clothes containing asbestos, with those handling the material falling victim to lung disease. It wouldn't be unusual to find asbestos in items such as tablecloths. Even today, there hasn't been a complete worldwide ban on using it. 12. Deaf people sign in their sleep. Maybe it sounds strange at first, but it makes sense. Signing in your sleep isn't widespread, though one case was recorded in 2017. This was an elderly gentleman who signed so clearly that experts could see what he was dreaming as he dreamt it, thanks to his hand and arm movements. 11. The dirt on butterflies. There's a dirty truth behind the prettiest insect in the planet, the butterfly. Some may link the word butterfly to dairy produce, and they'd be right, but that isn't the whole story. You see, the butter connection involves their poop. Yes, because butterfly poop was thought to look like butter, Dutch observers figured that it would make a nice name. It's certainly nice, but now you know it also has a very nasty undertaste. 10. The real meaning behind Great Britain. Have you ever heard of the Atlas of True Names? It takes an etymological look at the countries of the world, etymology meaning the origins of the words themselves. And it gets crazy when we see the origin of Great Britain. In this atlas, you Brits come from the land of the tattooed. Apologies if you're not a tat fan. It's connected to Pretinoi, Greek for tattooed people, and Brit, which is Celtic for light-colored or speckled. 9. The first dictionary. You may think the first English dictionary was written by Samuel Johnson. Well, I have a word for that. Incorrect. Yes, Johnson got there first in terms of the official record, however, many other dictionaries were released in the run-up. Books such as a 40,000-word dictionary by author Nathan Bailey were completed 30-so years earlier. That said, Johnson's Dictionary of the English Language was literally the last word on the subject when it came out in 1755. 8. Hybrid cars are older than you think. The man behind Porsche was responsible for the world's first hybrid vehicle. Ferdinand Porsche worked on a car with an octagonal electrical motor, meaning it had an 8-sided housing. This motor gave the Semper Vivus, Latin for forever alive, an alternative source of power. The car was unveiled in 1900, just 14 years after the invention of the automobile. 7. Blame Massachusetts for car insurance. All drivers need car insurance, but no one likes paying for it. Massachusetts was the first to bring in legislation in 1925 that insisted on financial responsibility when driving. Interestingly, though, you needed to crash first and be asked about payment afterwards. As for compulsory insurance, it happened 5 years later, and we have the UK to thank for that one. We're safer, yes, but we're also a damn sight poorer. 6. The brutal meaning of checkmate. Chess is a battle of wits. It's also quite brutal, with the word checkmate meaning the king is helpless in ancient Persian. To be precise, the expression is shemet, she meaning king. The check part means control, with mate, or mate, coming from the Persian for to remain. So, the king is alone and helpless, and what do you think happens next? Oh, they're not going to take him out for coffee. A bloody fate lies in store. 5. The origins of camouflage. The French are responsible for the idea of camouflage in the military, having started their own unit in 1915. Camouflage is actually a theatrical word that translates as to make up for the stage. Instead of performing Shakespeare, these creative types were risking their lives in the theater of the First World War. 4. Look ma, no helmet. It seems insane, but people used to play ice hockey without headgear. Surely that was something that happened way back in history before people realized that skulls and skates really don't mix. Actually, players were still doing this in the 90s. Craig McTavish of the Edmonton Oilers went out there with his soft noggin proudly on display. Even crazier is the fact that he went on to coach the team. I'm guessing you told them to keep their helmets on by that stage. 3. When GPS goes too far. Here at List 25, we are big on grammar. However, it's possible to take an interest in grammar too far. There's a disorder out there called GPS, as in grammar pedantry syndrome. If you have a friend who's always correcting your words and freaking out over how you arrange your sentences, stage an intervention. Lock up the dictionary, delete Grammarly from their devices, and let them go cold turkey for a while. 2. You did what with the baguette? The French love their bread. Then who can blame them? It's delicious. They're also pretty superstitious about how you position your baguette at the table. An upside down baguette is considered bad luck. It gets like the Exorcist in bakery form. What you're supposed to do is carve a cross on the flat side of the bread, then cut it to avoid any supernatural fallout. 1. Wild Wild Wedding. What was so wild about it? The veil. Typically, you'd worry that people might tread on a veil, but in this case, it's on a whole other level. A ceremony in Cyprus back in 2018 featured a bride trailing fabric measuring over 4 miles. No surprise to learn this is a world record. What I'm wondering is how they managed to get into the car for the couple's big send-off. Well, that's it for our list of impressive and very random facts. Are you ready for more interesting facts? Because we have a video about the nations of Earth featuring a bunch of stuff you didn't know right here. Click on the link and I'll see you soon for another fascinating fact list. Oh, and if you haven't started playing raids yet, what are you waiting for? Like I said, head on over to the description below and click on my special link to download and claim all those awesome bonuses, which are only available via my link. See you next time.